TMO online television does not provide medical advice. The information, including but not limited to, video, screen recordings, text, graphics, images and other material contained on this channel are for informational purposes only. No material on this television is intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician, or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment. And before undertaking a new healthcare regimen, never disregard professional medical advice or delay seeking it because of something you have viewed on TMO online television.
Mbalamusizaako mwena gye musinzira okubanga mulaba TMO online television. Mbeebaza mwenna abaakitegeera nti future ya TV tekyali analog, yava ne ku digital kati eri ku online. Yezekanka kapita okubatuusaako ekitundu kyaffe kino ekirala ku TMO online television. Mbeebazaamu akensusa abatuweereza comments ezituyambako okubakolera programs ezizimba. Ate nabana kuwera wiiki emabega nasalawo nnoonyeze abagoberezi baffe ab'Olulango engeri gye bayinza okwejjanjabamu obulwadde bwa COVID abo abaabufuna n'abamu okubwetangira muleme bufunira ddala. Eyo gye nagwira ku musajja eyagamba nti ye alina eddagala eriwonya COVID19 nti era abadde aliwo abantu okuva ogwokusatu gw'omwaka oguwedde nga bawona. Nagwa kwa Alhaji Dr. Saddam Rashid Lukwago ono ng'agamba nti agezezzaako okutuukirira ab'obuyinza ab'enjawulo bagezeeko okwapproving eddagala lino naye kyagaana naye ng'ate bba abantu bawona. Kale byali bigambo bya programu eyise. Mu maaso gammwe we mmala okufuna ebigambo bino saabitwala nga bigambo bya Dr. Saddam Rashid Lukwago namusaba mbuulire abantu abawona abali luddawa. Right now ntandise okubakolera episodes ez'abantu abawona COVID-19. Mulekeraawo okuyimba ennamba z'abantu abafa naye nga ffe tulina obusobozi mu ggwanga lyaffe okwenogera eddagala lyaffe ne tuwonya abantu baffe ekibambulira kya COVID-19. Nsaba muteeke omulaka oba concentration yamwe mugiteeke ku story z'abantu abawona COVID baamuwona batya. Omusajja gwe nagenze n'enkyaliro oyinza okwewuunya nze naggyeewo obuvumu obukyalira omuntu eyakeberwa COVID-19 n'atuuka ne ku Oxgyen. Mu maaso gammwe gwe mbaleetedde ye retired major abasajja Ssubi Kasule ono nga yali musirikale wa UPDF na retiringa era nga COVID yamuluma okumanya yamuluma yamutuusa ne ku Oxgyen kwe yamala ennaku 3. Mbaleetedde olugendo lwa retired major basajja Ssubi Kasule process by process. Yamukwata atya, yatandika atya okumutegeera, yagenda atya ku Oxgyen, yavaaka atya n'okubeera nga kati nze nnyina n'obugumu obutambula n'engenda ewuwe ne mujjako interview atuyambe abulira abantu baffe ye yawona atya. Nga sinaba kutandika program y'olunaku olwaleero mbasaba nti abo bonna program eno ngikoledde abo bokka abatalina mboozi zitazimba abaagala okuwona abaconcentratinga ku mulamwa buli kaseera lwabaawo ekituufu ne batadda mu byakwe kwogera kino na kiri. Akaseera tekutuli ka COVID mbakubiriza okwekuuma COVID-19 mukendeze ku bigambo ebingi twenoonyeza okuwona okwaffe okwekifirika tetujja kulinda nnyo bazungu. Retired Major basajja Ssubi Kasule kansoke muleka ababuuzeeko ate tulyoke tubeere nga tutandika. Nze nsanyusa okukulaba newankubadde kusanze in the comfort of your house. Kirina video gamba abantu. Program eno twagala tugikole mu nnimi bbiri. Sobola okubenefitinga bannaffe abaogera olulimi oluzungu n'abawulira Oluganda nga mu oluzungu temulina kye muwuliramu yadde. Katugibakolere kubanga omugenyi wange ennimi zonna ezo azimanyi n'endala ndonzeeko bbiri kubanga nze ze mmanyiiko kuzaamanyi. Sebo nsanyusa okukulaba.
Kabona kako nayo nsanyusa okukulaba.
Sebo.
Mu bufunze nze retired major basajja Ssubi Kasule yagamula mu 2017 November. Nga nze omu ku bayise mu kirwadde ekya COVID nga bw'okiraba kitugoyeza nga natuuseeko ne ku Oxgyen okuva ennaku z'omwezi nga 9 awo mwezi guno lwali lwa 3 nemaliriza nga nvuddeyo ku Lwesande.
Ekirwadde kya COVID kyakukwata n'otuukako ne ku Oxgyen. Wano nkulaba toli ku Oxgyen kitegeeza wamuvuddeko.
Awo nayitawo wiiki nga 2 eziwedde.
Mpulira.
neneekomyawo era awaka kubanga nze neetwala mu ddwaliro.
Retired Major katusooke tusimbe wakati awo. Ebigambo byoyogera binkanga naye nnyina okubiweereza abantu. Abali abatulaba omusajja gwe mulaba maaso awo yakwatibwa COVID n'agenda ne ku Oxgyen kati yavaayo ku Oxgyen naye nga ye yeetwala ate ne yeekomyawo ng'avudde ku Oxgyen. Yemboozi zino gye tuleese olunaku olwaleero. Kati gwalina omuntu we yalwala COVID muleke kubala bafudde. Looza musooke mulabe ku yawonye mulyoke mubala abaafa. Kati atandikire wali ssebo. Obulamu bwo bubadde butya nga tonnaba kuyingira mu bino bya COVID. Your way of life, what is your way of life before this COVID? How do you conduct yourself? You wake up, do this and return home. Kantandikira awo.
Nze ndi musajja asimbula ewange ne ntutula ne mukyala wange mu motoka waliwo ne muganda wange oyo yandiko mu ddwaliro ne mbatuuse ewandegeya ne nvuga emmotoka yange nenzira ku mulimu. Era bwe nva ku mulimu nvuga emmotoka yange oluusi nenzirayo ewandegeya nenzigyayo eyandiko eyali anzijanjaba ne tudda awaka.
Mpulira. That's how you live your life.
Very simple life. Siri munyowa muntu ojja kunsanga nti noonya kuzanya kaludo oba kunywa ku.
Kwitoyitirako ku bbaala. Oba mu kadanke oba mu kikeesa.
Father Grimes yabimalamu.
Nkutegedde. So wakwatibwa COVID yawe wagenda okusinga okubeera ewakkulu.
Yes.
Where do you suspect you go to this COVID from?
I think it's a continuous interaction with the people, especially in the office environment.
I see.
Because without mentioning the organization, some good steps were taken to have all of us checked. And I was found to be one.
In the organization where you work,
yes,
the organization took a few steps to ensure that you guys are safe, and you were found unsafe.
Yes.
You contracted the COVID virus,
right?
So you suspect you got it from your workplace.
Because as a man in procurement, I interface with so many people.
I understand.
Whether you have a mask or not, the limitations are minimal when you have continuous interaction with different people.
In the way you conduct yourself at work, do you get into much contact with people? Do you touch so many objects? Do you sit and discuss in close contact with people? How do you do your work?
I would say we maintain the social distances as required. Sanitizers are everywhere. Put them at entrances. Even on people's desks, they have sanitizers, dispensers, and everything. But the challenge is there is one distance that you not keep. The air distance.
I understand.
Whatever you blow out of your mouth or your nose might not meet that distance. Therefore, I believe the concentration in the office environment could have been the cause.
I see. So you're trying to say you suspect that whether there were sanitizers, thousands at office, where they were at the entrance or almost everywhere, however much you avoided touching surfaces and so on, you suspect this form of breathing, the natural way of inhaling, might have brought you the virus.
Inclusive is maybe taking a few staffs. I found here past the vehicle might be going too far. Then you have like two in the vehicle. How do you tell?
How do you tell where you pick the virus?
Yeah.
Of course, the way you have given me this explanation seems to elaborate that wherever you are, you are a candidate of coronavirus.
It's an automatic air ticket.
I understand.
Because there is no day you suspend breathing.
So this implies anyone, anywhere, wherever you are,
you get it.
You'll get it.
That's it.
Abalabi omusajja ono yafuna COVID akola ku ofiisi ye era ajja abantu bajja ku ofiisi ye tewali kyataakola kwetangira bulwadde bwa COVID-19. Sanitizers, social distancing, masks everywhere. Naye era at the end of it all kyataakola kyokka kwe kulekeraawo okussa yasigala ssa olunaku lulamba. So let me get you into this. They proposed to check all of you.
Yes.
How did you get the news that you have the COVID virus?
You see, it is an IT error. We were checked and we were given just 24 hours to have the results. Those results are shared with the HR. And then the HR had the task to make sure that every one of us got their results in real time to start the next step.
I see.
And it was done exactly within. In fact, it was less than 24 hours.
News hit you that you have the virus.
Yes.
How did you feel? How did you react?
It is.
Take me through the panic.
It is the tested kind of mind and the comfort. If you get people like Nelson Mandela, he tells you, though he's dead, let your brains dominate your emotions.
Don't let your emotions overpower
the brain.
Your understanding. I see.
So all I did was to call my wife, and I told her, me, I've been tested and I've been found positive. I went straight to hospital because I have an insurance card. I was given medicine. From there and then, we separated. Our bedroom was left to me, and other people were to enjoy the house. When it comes to them, I'm on the veranda.
If you are to enjoy your own house, you would only access the veranda. The
bedroom and the veranda. Simplified version of living.
Let me just draw a visual picture of you coming out of your bedroom.
Yes.
You use one route that others don't use. Your kids don't hug you.
Well, you see what you see here. I think you have seen some of those young boys coming. Someone comes with a mask on the girl. From the time I knew that, masks were bought because it was known I have it.
Masks extended up to the house.
Yes. In fact, they have them.
Everyone I have seen.
If you want to have a pack, I have a pack.
I see.
Because I need them alive, whether I'm dead or alive. The other one is my continuity.
Yes.
Okay?
The continuation of your legacy.
Yes.
Or whatever you plan your life to be in the future, someone should continue with it. Well. I see.
Yes. So, masks became normal here. And whenever they are coming to me, when they are alone in the house, they are afraid not to have them. But when you are coming to me, exactly where we are seated is my normal area of city. You come with a mask. Whether you are bringing me food or tea or fruits, you come with a mask.
Now, you're opening my mind to something else. Yesterday there was I was watching TV. Later in the evening news, they were showing someone who had to take a dead person and throw through the coffin just at the gate of some hospital in a given district. The family alleges that for them, someone alleges that the family said they cannot bury a COVID victim at their official burial place.
Yes. Yes.
Now, I'm painting a picture of you being announced as having COVID. You call your wife. Having learned how deadly it is.
Yes.
What was the mood of your people in your house?
For us, you would find people a bit checked, okay? On their happiness, on the downside.
I understand.
Okay? But even then we have to accept, you talk to them to accept what is happening and what has befallen you.
Of course.
The biggest challenge we have today, HIV is very open on the table. But when you have COVID, it becomes an abomination. It's very wrong.
No one wants
Let's
to
disclose when you have it. I've gone through it and I've communicated to friends.
I see.
What I've gone through.
So people around you know what it means to have COVID.
Yes.
The public is yet to know in this video what it means to yes. Let me get you to somewhere else. Now, you had a place of work.
Yes.
You are working. Of course, you have. For you know where you work.
Yes.
Were you dispatched? Were you left to leave office with the? Were you just fired from work, or you were just given a leave?
No. I'm telling you, there are some compassionate friends or companies or employers, because of the nature of our work, we facilitate other organizations, it's a consultancy firm, you charge everything that you do not expect. With the insurance card, they said, members, if you are found positive, please, you stay at home, we shall take care of you from home. And indeed, they have done whatever they could on top of the treatment that we are getting via the insurance.
Okay, in their capacity as your employers,
yes,
they did what was required of employers.
Yes, you know,
with a good heart.
It's a poor economic situation.
Of course.
There's a downswing in revenues. That if someone still pinches his balances to support you, you need to appreciate that.
Of course. It's very rare to
So
find.
we are not fired from the job. We still participate in company business, meetings, and facilitation for projects as they move. We have online meetings, and they go on. Now, last week is when I started my first online meeting ever since I left hospital.
Of course, online you cannot infect anyone.
You are at home.
You are delivered to do business without direct contact. Okay, I've learned that. Now, there is the most important part of you. Then you're found with the virus.
Yes.
Then all that happens, the company what, and everything you guys are told to stay home. Take me through how you started getting medication for COVID-19.
Upon knowing it, because my HR shared my users on WhatsApp, opening my account, I found she had communicated and the result was positive. Straight away moved to doctor's clinic in Pererwe. And when I went through the processes, by the time I got to the doctor, just told him, doctor, I'm not here to waste your time. I've been tested and found positive of COVID. All I need is treatment. The doctor was not bad. He gave me the medication within his professional knowledge that would work for me. That was on Sunday. I came back, living in that place, doctor's clinic. A certain workmate had shared a medication which Ecofarm I underlined to be basic and critical for certain levels of age and maybe levels of infection. Looking at myself being already infected, I said now the family might not be to the extent to which I am. I had to go with the PDF, shared it with a pharmacist, and I got the different doses for the different age groups at home.
As advised by that PDF?
Yes.
Shared from Ecofarm?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if I'm infected, some people might be in the incubation stage. I thought the earlier, like a soldier, is a preemptive attack. Of
course.
Kill it before
it kills you.
It kills you. Or before even they get organized to do something. And I'm happy I left this home on Wednesday when I started climbing my steps and feeling a bit of panting.
Once COVID attacks you and you wait to see yourself.
All the signs, if you want to see all the signs, then you are in danger.
I see.
I had small flu, treated it, disappeared. You see, not all facilities have the small cylinders.
I see.
In this case, we had only the big cylinders, which will not pull to a toilet. Okay?
I see.
Others have small ones that you would have like a backpack for the soldiers. They change the oxygen mask and then you would move.
I see.
But I didn't get that chance here. I think because of the numbers. But life went on like that.
Let me ask you, when you're heading to the loose, do you drag this big cylinder to that place and return it?
No, because I wasn't in that very bad state. I saw some people were unconscious almost. But me, I would reason, I would talk to the person who has brought me, I would talk to the doctors. All I would do is to gather the momentum and the energy to walk slowly while not burdening the lungs and get where I was going.
I see. So here you are, you get to the oxygen.
Yes.
Did you feel an improvement when you put on oxygen?
Yes. What I know, it is an artificial system. And that's why I think we talk of resuscitation, which is a continuous flow of oxygen into your lungs. And now you should learn that you are opposing the natural mechanisms. You are trying to breathe out, but there is a constant flow in of some natural oxygen.
There is this artificial one,
yes,
opposing the natural way.
Yes, because there is no day you breathe in and then it will stop for you to breathe out. It's impossible. So we kept on that oxygen and getting some medication from the hospital for the first day and the second day. Getting some injections, IVs and so on, plus some tablets, including the vitamins. Yeah. So, but still the challenge remains. Oxygen would miss, and the challenges would still be there. When Kasule puts his cylinder aside because he's feeling a bit okay, you'd find it taken to someone else.
Hey.
Because you are around and someone tells you there's someone who is bad off and you let go. Because there is another life there that is worse off than you are.
Of course.
Yeah.
But that is rare. Some people would die to hold on to the cylinders where there is someone critically ill. That sounds a little bit different from what I would think would happen there.
If you cling on a cylinder, who tells you that you will not die?
Of course, no one tells you, but some people are made like that. They were born like that.
Yes, we can.
Clinging on what they cannot even finish.
We can be greedy and selfish, but it doesn't mean that the more selfish or greedy you are,
the more chances
longer you will live. Even the greedy can die earlier.
I think everyone needs to be a soldier to understand that. Now, that you're talking about the first day and the second day.
Yes.
You are on oxygen.
Yes.
On those days.
And I would get it off a bit because I was not feeling anything very hard. At times it's taken.
Where was your family then?
At home. Madame would pay me a visit. One day she entered the quarantine and the people noticed she had entered. Maybe the guard was off. They grabbed her and she was sprayed to the maximum. I think she entered Kampala, the only person very clean that day.
Spraying you as if you
She was sprayed to the maximum, not to take the COVID back to the town.
I see.
But anyway, she went to town. Though finding me on oxygen was disturbing to have too much.
Of course.
Yes.
It has to. Now, when do you start getting some improvement in your life? You see, the biggest challenge is when you think your falling sick is a secret, it might also kill your chances of recovery. So you can leave your recovery a secret to God because you don't want to talk to your fellow people. During my stay in the hospital, what you saw on the table there are part of the herbals by Saddam Rashid Rukwago, along other drugs. You see, military science can still help you if you understand what you are doing. I went into a hospital accepting it is a new disease. Everyone is trying to sort.
I've always told people, in any profession, there is a level of professional ignorance, which we should accept. If you're a lawyer, you might be an ignorant mechanic.
Of course.
Okay? When there is something new, accept that this is new and handle it with people. So, I called a friend, called Chizito. Told him, Bwana Chizito, my oxygen levels are low. So he brought me some medicine. I said, fine, I'm feeling some little change. I called my in-law, asking her about the herbal that helped the old woman in the early stages of the first COVID problem.
So, let me first understand that bit. You called Chizito your colleague.
Yes.
You explained to him how hard it is.
For him, he gave me a different version.
He gave you a different version.
Yes.
Who is this Mukade you're talking about? She had the COVID?
My wife. She has ever faced it, and she went through it.
How old is she?
I can't gauge my Muko. In Uganda, you can't. But what happens...
Well, of course, she's a mother to your wife,
yes.
And of course, she must be at some
age.
good age.
Yes.
I understand.
So when I call the one my wife follows, a good friend of mine, I said, what herbal remedy did Mukade use when she was having this problem? She gave me a number that I only have the number. Okay? So she sends me the number, I call the number. I asked this gentleman, I want your COVID medicine. They told me you have some bottles that relieve the problem. So the boy tells me, little did she know that this was a border man who was shipping drugs for Saddam Rashid Lukwago. So as I was talking to the border man, no. I said, okay, let me talk to him. I told him, Musawo Lukwago, there is some medication that you used to give that relieves COVID, and it will help on the breath. Can you send me some 10 bottles? Because me, I wanted to make it my standard not to have problems with breathing.
I see.
So the young man tells me, who am I talking to? I told him I'm Major Kasule, but I'm on Oxgyen. He tells me, no, I found I don't want to cheat you. Just raise 230,000. Okay? I dispatched the medicine. I sent him the money, minus asking questions. Okay? Within something like an hour, the medicine was at the hospital. Good enough, the hospital staff are not that inquisitive to know who is helping himself within the facility.
I see.
When they are giving what they gave as professionals.
Of course, in the battle of life, where there is no standard medicine that the pharmacists or the doctors will have to dispense, they give people the liberty to try chances.
That is the challenge that we have had. Because when you tell someone use this, you tell the doctors will not allow. And I've always told them, today is the time for professional ignorance for the doctors, because we are dealing with what we don't know. You're
taking me back to professional ignorance.
Yes.
Some people don't agree to a certain level.
Certain areas. That's where the problem is.
They think they are the beginning and the end of everything.
You are not the alpha and omega on this.
I understand.
So, including of what I got from my friend Chizito, that is day 3, when I added Lukwago's stuff. The next day in the morning.
So Lukwago sends you the 10 bottles.
I took the first 3 necessary takings, fighting with the eating. The taste is almost gone. The next day, I told the young man, give me that banana. And I think he thought I would die. You see, when the person you are treating starts asking for it, that one is about to pack to heaven.
There's even some weird story that when the sick asks for a chenyanja, the fish, abagenda.
So, this young man gives me the banana. I eat it and I never felt like it was salt like I was when I was at home. So I told him, bring me more. I ate some 3-4 bananas, and I think that's when the eating became normal.
They were tasty?
Yes, because I enjoy bananas, but if I had failed them at home, then my interviews were looking towards the grave.
I understand.
So, after using that guy's drug, the test came back, and I was feeling fair. You see, his drug, when you take it, it has that kind of heating kind of effect. I said, now, when doctors started asking me, I started assuring them I can be at home. The rest can be sorted there. They looked at us for Friday. They took an action. Saturday, they said they would have to look at us. Then, by Sunday, someone comes around the 7th here. Kasule, I think I'm seeing you for the last time. I thought now maybe my assessment is about to death, maybe, but me I was telling them I'm feeling okay. Your discharge is ready. And you know, the discharge being ready, someone only gave us the bill of almost 6 million. We started staggering, organizing things, putting them at the door. And the guard told us, I need the discharge. The young man moved around until we got the discharge. I rest to speak after use of this man's drug for 2 days.
You order for a herbal kind that people would call a herbal concoction. From... If you go to the army, watakuelezea dawa ya kienyeji. Now, it gets to you.
Yes.
You don't have the taste. Your taste is bad. You know. There's something you say. The taste had started to disappear, but we hear, because I haven't been there at the COVID, where people are having COVID. They tell me it's completely dead when it comes to taste. You can't smell anything.
If you can eat a banana, put it in your mouth, and you taste it salty, or even worse than these darrows.
But we don't have salted bananas in this country.
Because this is what your mouth now is giving you. And that's how bad it was.
I see.
I tried and it was nothing in the mouth. So
you start taking this herbal medicine from Rashid Lukwago.
Yes.
And then after 2 days, after 1 day, you tell someone that I feel I should be discharged. Yes. They observe you for a second day.
Yes.
So someone comes later and then tells you,
I might be seeing you for the last time.
For the last time, you think you're going to die.
Am I worse off or am I better off? And then the next thing he was
showing you,
tell him to go to the discharge point and see. We got our bill, which is almost 6 million, and the discharge was not on top. But someone was insisting. The drugs they gave you, that form was supposed to be inside. Kumbe, it was left somewhere. And he went back and got it from the doctor, who was released on Sunday. I came back home.
Let me understand the attribution, all the care, all this kind of you're discharged and you're getting back home. You attribute the disappearance of COVID to who? To the oxygen? To your wife who used to call? Who do you give this attribution?
Certain things have to be put in line.
I understand.
I've been with the hospital for some 2-3 days. Okay? Almost in a similar state. I add those 2 people, Lukwago and what
a friend,
my friend Chisto gave me. On the addition of Lukwago and what Chisto gave me, life became much better. If I started eating the banana, now I'll push the tick to Lukwago because I had gotten all the rest from within the hospital, meaning whatever kept me having another chance of improvement is what came from outside the hospital.
I see. Maybe the hospital could take some days before you got better, and their medicine was taking some time to act.
Oh, fine, but I've made recommendations to people about the same.
Oh,
I can give an example. Opposite me were two young girls. They are from Chisasi. Two young girls from Basoga from Chisasi. They amused when they came to hospital. They first asked for a room. I looked at the young girls and I said, I think they have lost direction. Watched them for 2 hours. That is a day before I left. I called one who was looking after the other. I asked her, Madam, did you leave rooms in the house you left at home? She said yes. Then I told her, what is your mission here? Do you think it is the rooms that you left at home or it's about your survival?
What does she answer?
She told me it's about survival. Then I told her, two, whenever you go into a room, we all have the same sickness, but when you go into a room, you have set a class apart. Why should I come and knock on your room to talk to you?
So this young girl comes with Rugezigezi, wanting a separate room to be taken care of there.
I can say it's a misguided conception, thinking that when you go to a room, everything is good in the room. But you have left rooms at home and you have fallen sick at home. You come
where you have a separate room.
You start fearing curtains in a hospital. That's why I asked, did you leave rooms at home? You
came with the COVID and you think people you found there will give you extra COVID?
Maybe. So I called this girl because me had already used what she started giving me and what I had gotten from Lukwago. I told this young lady, when you separate from us in a hospital, tekikuyamba. Tubeere wamu tumanye ekizibu kyaffe, tulabe bwe tukivaamu. Ekinyamba kikuyambe. So the young lady listened. I thought she would walk away. Naye yagumira katebe. I grilled her and she understood. So I tell the young man to pile for me mine. You see, Kuba will tell you 4 spoons, how many? I would tell him to put them in the car in one go, because there was one which is of honey and so on, and sip my dose at once. So when she was there, I took mine, because the friend was still having those problems, crying for her mom through Oxgyen, calling money all the time. I told her, now let me help you. I told the young man to wash the car. Go to Lukwago's drug. Because me had already tested another drug from outside, then I added. She was given a single dose. That night she slept and we didn't hear of any noise about Oxgyen. Okay? I pretended not to have heard how they slept. In the morning I asked her, how did you sleep? And I didn't was meaning whether me was importing too much, for them they used the single what?
Dose
of Lukwago that then they slept well. So I told her, please, this is Dr. Lukwago's number. This is the number of the guy who first helped me to feel a bit good. And then they called on the first day, they got the other first drug. They were saying, but we are still okay, we are stable. Now I was discharged, they had not yet, because they had a fear maybe of the money, because I told them the money and I didn't want to hide. Why should I hide what I have gone through? I told them around the 230, 250 you get the Lukwago's drug and it's useful.
Of course they were in the hospital.
Yes.
That gave you a bill of 6 million.
Yes. But they had a challenge, I think, via the wallet. So when I got home the next day, I called them. I have their numbers. I asked, did you get Lukwago's medicine? We feared the money. I told them it's not about the money. Tell him to give you whatever portion of the dose can help you. When you leave, you will get the money. They called him. No. When they tried to leave the quarantine, they were refused because they wanted to buy airtime. I called back. They told me, no, they refuse to us to leave the quarantine. We can't even call the guy to give us a medicine. I said to them the airtime, 5,000, and I told them, please make sure you get the drug. I want to assure you, I spent a day out. The next day they were also discharged.
I see. You left.
It's not only those.
You left. You call them after you've been discharged.
Yes.
They tell you they can't be let out of the quarantine.
Yes.
So you send them a time to contact Lukwago.
Yes.
The next day you call, they are out of.
They had gotten the drug and they were discharged.
I see.
So it's not only those. I have colleagues I work with. I think one, we are living in financial difficulties.
Of course.
But he got the packs of what Mr. Chisto gave me. I insisted we need Lukwago's medicine because if it is now the entire house sick, you can have one of those, start on it all of you as you transit to the next one as you look for money.
Yes.
So, you see, whoever I've been recommending, I've made follow-ups to see how they are. Today, I called Mr. Mugenya and he told me, I found the thanks, we're okay.
That's the other example.
That is the second one.
That is picking example. After not suspecting this thing can work,
yes.
You give them the assurance.
Yes.
And then they test.
I have another friend, Pasco. For him, even when he fell sick, he switched off his phones. I have a friend who knew we were been talking. He's my boss, a young man. And I was always talking to him. Then he tells me, at times they run out of their English. When they hear Major General, they think it's the same. Someone tells me, General, Pasco is sick. Then I tell him, my friend, how do I get Pasco? Because there's one guy who was teaching me about growing onions. He has even been here. So they give me the wife's number. I called the wife, gave the same guidance. By the time Pasco had taken quite a long time because he was hit in wave 1, he has been hit by wave 2. So with all the guidance I gave, he comes back to tell me, I've never felt any better since wave 1 like I felt today.
I see.
On this treatment. So that is where I look, when I'm guiding you on what Mr. Chisto gave me, I will guide you on what I got from Mr. Lukwago. And all people have not heard those problems. Yesterday, but when I talked, on Saturday, I talked to Pasco. He was busy growing his cabbages, transplanting them.
This careless Pascal, like I can call him,
is not careless. He has been hit. He travels a lot.
Of course.
Okay. Continuous interaction with people. But for him, phones, I would not talk for even 5 minutes. Today I can talk for an hour almost. Okay? He was right to put the phone aside because we knew the wife. So through the wife, Pasco is fine.
Never even wanted to talk to colleagues as he prayed his last prayer.
It is hard even to think of it. Because I think the best advice in hospital is to avoid over talking.
Don't
you
talk
have
too
an
much.
oxygen date. You have a gap in the oxygen that you have in your body. You want to use that energy too much to talk, you have a deficit already.
I understand.
I think it was right for him. But when I talked to his madam, she followed the steps and they are fine.
You see why I made the choice to interview someone who has been in a military service is that I was told by my father that the military does not lie. The military people are there to sacrifice their life for the comfort of the wananchi. And then when I get these words from you,
yes,
I don't have any questions when it comes to what you have told me. The questions I came with
yes,
are the only questions that I have. Indeed, you have surprised me with the confidence you gave your fellow sick people in the words of COVID-19.
Yes.
But most importantly, I remember when we were starting this interview, you said, when I wait for all the signs of COVID, I'm waiting on my death.
Yes.
So, let me get the ending remarks on this story. Sincerely, what is your best advice to those who think they don't have the COVID, to those who have the COVID, and those who think COVID cannot reach them in whichever heaven they are?
I think from the beginning, we said there is no day you have a pause in your breath that you will not breathe.
Of course.
We have the protection recommended well and good, but it does not cover every inch of your nose. So in any kind of environment you breathe and you might have it. It's very important. If you can afford, I think the checkup is 75,000 now. If you can afford, do it. If you can't afford, the earlier the better. Steaming has been there. Some people have steamed and they are a bit okay. But the moment you feel you are developing those coughs, loss of taste and so on, please try at least where we have mentioned. 2, you can contact those who have gone through it. Because unless you have gone through it as a patient or someone looking after a patient, that's where we have the best knowledge. I can tell you I used this and this, then it will be okay. But you will not say, I'll try this, when at times even the doctor you are talking to has to read the textbook. There is a wave already, most people are infected. The call on change of government strategy. Ordinary science has it that if you have measles already, we don't do what? Immunize you or vaccinate you. Okay?
Of course.
Then why do you think you should vaccinate the one who has already COVID? I think the first step should be checking whether you have it. Okay? If you don't have it, then vaccinate. Okay? If not, let's think of treating all those who are sick first. Because the medicines are there. I'm a student of procurement and supply chain management. And I'm also a student of business admin. My challenge would be, which supply chains do we have as Uganda? We have the local chains, which can be through the harbors like the Rukwagos. I've heard of Covidex. Is it Covidex?
Of course.
Okay.
There's some small kind of bottle.
Yes.
Roaming around.
Yes.
Places.
If we can build on these to see how much, but I don't think we can satisfy the market, then we'll also look at what comes from outside for curing purposes, to cut down on the deaths, cut down on the admissions, okay? Then spring into the immunization. And I think at a later stage we shall have even better vaccines that are not doubted. Yeah.
They don't have a lot of
questions because I'm
noise
seeing
on social media.
When President Biden is talking about whatever they are sending us, 60 million doses, but not approved for use in America. Now,
these doses are not used to be used in the US, in whatever.
In Europe, and they are not going to be used, but why in Africa? So why don't we use ours to cure and find a way forward later on the vaccine?
You see, you sounded like the commander-in-chief. Yesterday he had an address of some summit happening now in Munnansi.
Yes.
And the president was saying, why should we be waiting for someone in Europe, for Africans to get cure? Though he has bitter words, he attached on that.
Yes.
I may not go into it, but I concentrate on the gist of his address.
Yeah.
Now, there is also, of course, I can take you also in this, because you have the first-hand experience.
Yes.
You see, there is a lot of noise moving around social media, where people are putting up so many concoctions.
Yes.
Some to the extent of saying, when you when you take a cup of marijuana,
yes,
you can beat up this COVID in less than a day. Even some administrators at local levels in some districts came up and said, of course, for us, we know we have acres of this. We want the government to come here and approve this. So many. There was even
are taking a lot of the sanitizer in underwarrage.
And others are saying when you get this warrage, of course, it finds you with a COVID-proof thing. And there was even some form of weed with purple flowers. Yes. It came from Europe and people are saying, now this is the cure. Available. Which is locally available. But now, whoever is reading this, like me, I know all of that. Assuming I get this COVID the next day, I run into panic. Sincerely, what would be your direct advice on how best someone can identify, someone can compose themselves, because you sounded more composed. Maybe I'll attribute this to the military training you have, but someone who doesn't have it, what would be the best way not to panic and to reach where you are? Because you came from Oxgyen up to when I can even interview you from this place.
I would think any human being, we are living in two extremes. The point of birth and the point of death.
Which is very scary, the death point.
None of those do you lay an application on the table.
None.
Okay? You don't have an application for your death, maybe for the ones who hang themselves. Okay?
Of course, we attribute that to witchcraft sometimes.
Whoever can prove it. But I would say, the first thing is to accept. Don't be stigmatized. Okay?
Stigma.
Like it has been for HIV. Don't go into that situation. Because now you run out of your normal senses and start doing other things. There's a professional line. There are these guys who have tested themselves over time over herbals like the Rukwagos. There are drugs in hospitals. Some people have survived on the same. But we have found some other things that are a catalyst, additional catalyst on how you recover very fast.
I see.
The only challenge you remain with is getting the right information from the right people. Some doctors have not fallen sick, okay? They have not gone through it, but he will try to do whatever we get the US, European media.
So sometimes they are waiting on
professions.
They were waiting on the World Health Organization to recommend.
But we are living in different environments. The African environment is so hot. The virus might not survive so much.
It's not like
it's cold in the other Mediterranean and so on.
It's not like in Wuhan where we suspect it came from.
Yes. So whatever we have on the table, the chances we have got, please trace those who have gone through it. They will have recommendations for you. Whether you think you should not go that low, I will say oxygen is not medicine. It is only resuscitation. Obuyambi okulabika nga obeerawo nga omukka guli tegukugwamu munda gwe weetaaga okussa guyamba
nga bw'oyiye eddagala. Naye bw'owulira nga okololayo akakalu n'okajjanjaba kayinza okubula ne kawona, kasenyiga ne kajja katono ne kabula, n'owulirako ku mutwe ne gukulumako katono ne gubula, n'omaliriza ng'olinga kasula awulira amawuggwe nti gakola ki? Gagaanye. Tolinda byonna kuggwaayo. Tandikira ku bitonotono, bw'owulira bigaanye batukubireko, tujja kweyamba. You see, mukulu Kasuloolo gwe mulaba wano mu maaso gammwe, tumulonzeeyo okubanga tumuggyako obujulizi bw'okuwona COVID. Vidiyo eno giwaaba abalowooza nti balina kubala mirambo batandike kubalira ku Kasule nti yawona. He was born here like you. He's living here and serving this country the same way you guys are doing. Kyotambuliddeeko wano ewaka wano olwo bakuggyeeyo. Abantu tebadduka buddusi nti wa COVID wuuyo.
Nga ngambye nti ndi mulwadde.
ng'ovuddeyo okomyewo baga obujulizi babujjawo ati musajja tumusemberera
bwe nagenda naye nga si mulwadde naye nga nkozesa prescription ya Ecofarm okulekera buli omu obujjanjabi awaka kati bwe nagenda naye ne yeetaba mu kittavu kyaffe ekyabalwadde bwe nadda naye nga si mulwadde abasigaddeko balina okulabira naye nga etteeka eriri awaka buli ayagala okunsemberera ajja ne masiki mpa bokisi yake N95 era nenzigula mutabani wange omuto omulabye mwanyina omulabye omukulu omulabye buli omu ajja naki ne masiki nze mbeera wano wabweru obweggulo wembeera
bampeereza wano nga nakatuuka obugenyi n'obugenyi bwe bampadde buli azze
nga buliko masiki bwe tutyo bwe tutandika era twakkaanya nti teri ajjawa nga talina masiki
zivaako ddi
bwe babeereyo mu nju yaabwe nga tebali nange badde mbozijjako
ngamba ku ggwe zinaavaako ddi bakwekakase nti owaaye kati tulibadde mbokwetaba naye
ngenda kuddayo kati bwe mmalawo eddagala lyange kubanga neerulwa ku mmeeza nayisaba mukulu lukwago ndabe nga sigaziya kiri kirala owulidde kati bwe mba nziguze ne nziteeka mu nju ekitegeeza tewali bwenjagala kutta
mazima
baana bange n'abantu bonna mu nju baani
babo
era bwe balwala waleti yaani
era ebinyiga waleti yo
kale kakati okwekuuma si buti asobola yeekuume aganya okugoberera bye bamugambye kubanga nze sina bwe namenya tteeka naye era namaliriza ndwadde oli bw'aba ayagala nga anaafulumya yagende mu maaso naye nga bambi kikola bubi oyinza okumaliriza nga olwadde nga n'ab'omunju balwazizza
kituufu
abantu abasinga balwalidde wakati wa wiikisi 2 ne 3
ku byokulya bino kwe tugenda okumaliririza bagamba mulwadde wa covid alina kulya bulungi okulya ki biki tomisinga nkoko nga bweweteekerateekera okufaako bagamba olina kulya bwonaawo olya enkoko yo naye neya covid yo olina giryanga ogirya bukyali ogende nayo
anti waliwo omunafu okuzaala kaliira neryoke bagamba bakinaanisa akyagala nga mukomubbi azadde abalongo
mpulira
ate naalongo n'omusanga bbi ettooke n'omukubira enduuba obuganda tebwakikola ng'abaanoonya y'abaana
omuze gubaddemu naye
watayinungo obo babadinamiza egyabwe naye nze kyemmanyi fruits ze mbadde nsinga okukozesa naddala ennaanansi ne watermelon eyo entangawuzi nga ngisa mu kacupa aka thamos nenywako akatonotono ebuguma okukola nti ebbugumu liri tulikola ki likuumibwa nga liyitamu eryenvu lyange eryo sirivaako
lyeri kuyamba owulira
vitamins zange ezo sijja zita netugezaako abaana kati oli omulenzi omukulu obadda gwempita junior tulina bye tugula oyinza ofuna kabita lemoni bucukamba biki ebyo byonna ne watermelon ekyo ne mugamba n'entangawuzi giseemu n'ateeka mu kablenda n'akubira banne ffenna buli omu akeera ne giraasi ye ku makya ne tweyokya kati wetutuukira mu bino ebya breakfast eryenvu eribaako buno obudde bwe buti oluusi ennaanansi bweba ekyaliyo jjajjiraba eyinza okujja ne tugyesiba naye ate okulowooza nti buli lunaku enkoko bwe nagigula nagulayo abaana baleme kunakuwala taata abadde mulwadde era bwe njira mbagamba nti enkoko yabanoze nti taata tennaba nti batte 2 jamugaana kulya era ng'oyagala olutalo obeera ku kitanda bagambe nti eka teri kyaki
kyakulya
awo omanya nti olutalo lukuze
amazima
naye katonda atwagala ekyo tetunaba kituuka
amagezi g'otuwadde waliwo n'abagatuwa nti waliwo obuuma bw'ogula simanyako oxygyen weepime
katuufu
oba obuntu buno obumanyiiko
ako nkamanyiko kubanga era kebampimisa okumanya nti oxygen levels zigudde
keetaagisa ewaka
okeetaaga
mpulira
bw'obeera naddala nga ona suspicion eyo
otandise okuteebereza
thermometer paroxymeter epima oxygen obyetaaga sanitizer nayo ogyetaaga kubanga n'akange newankubadde ngenda nkabeera bubi naye era kabeerawo
waliwo abateekamu kawalagi kennyini mu sanitizer
bakatabula naye era waliwo ebirala bye bagattako kubanga ate bwekanawunya walagi omwerere banampita mutamye kozi mashini eyo onyambe bwensituka wano nyinza okuwona omuzindalo gw'omukulu
ne bwebeerawaawo
I must demonstrate kati olwa damage ebeera ku mawuggwe kagundi ako nali mu ddwaliro omwana omu n'asinga ofiisa n'agamba kasula omanyi weetaaga okukola exercise z'amawuggwe ne bagamba oli ez'okunyega ku mugongo ne ngamba mwana embiriizi zange tazaasiza bwereere ne ngamba nti katukula akantu kano ka mitwalo 6 but what is ekyetaagisa mu kokki kusangoza munda okusobola okuwa amawuggwe okuddayo okukola ki okugaziwa ndowooza ne surface area gy'ossizaamu absorbing oxygen ekole ki ekole kati obupiira buno buli 3 omuntu bw'aba yaakatandika ayinza ositulako kaliwa kamu bw'ogenda nodda ku kookubiri omanya nti obuusa ekyewandege y'ekimyufu banaatera okukuta
mpulira
bw'otuukira kano omanya nti amawuggwe gakoze
okakola otyo kapikamu
kati ko kano ate osika oguzza munda kubanga kati tube eno empewo egisikira eno waggulu kano katwala kibiki centiliters oba centimeters 6 kano kali mu 9 bw'otuukira kano obeera mu 200 kati toto 1209 ezo 210
bwe nkasika lumu ne kagwa mu green nga neddira kansamba mupiira
omanya nti amawuggwe gagenze gatereera
mpulira
kati bw'ogattako kutambula n'owulira ebiwejjowejjo byo bw'ogenda oyongera improvement fabamu twongeddeko okweyoteza n'okutambula
mpulira
kati njagala nkulage nti omukka gwonna ogusa ne gufuluma n'osika okay
nga bonna obukoonesa ggwe
anti kati omufu yavuddemu kati omulamu
tekabanga kali mwakakwatamu nga kakiggundu
nedda
olwo bw'oba mulwadde
oyinza okumaliriza kankulage
olwo nga
omanya nti amawuggwe tegasobola kusika mpewo eri awo y'amaanyi kubanga empewo eyita wano volume ya mpewo gy'oyingiza era naye eba ntono
mpulira
naye bw'oba osobola obusika bwonna ne bugenda waggulu is a good exercise era n'abalala abakiyiseemu mbagambe ne mbagamba nti kali mu ssente bwe ziti kati yakanoonyeze mwezi oba afuna race ayitawo
kasaba nga akalina kiyamba ye nkutegedde bulungi kuba nakyo okukikubuuza ngenze nempulira ebitambula nti akantu bwe kati ne bwe kati ne bwe kati kajja kwetaagisa sebo nkwebaza webale nnyo abanaasiima muyite mu komenti abanaakwetaaga ng'oli yeetaaze kubaako byakwebuuzaako nga ggwe atali Rashid Lukwago kuba Rashid Lukwago you know there are two kinds of the way people heal one is this stigma.
Yes.
And I know you've gone through it. You can help to cure those with stigma.
Yes.
Sometimes maybe you can talk the same way. You grilled some young girl.
Yes.
In the COVID.
No,
world.
even there is a workmate I told if you want your family to die, ask me how it works. Because me I never asked how it works. I only used it, and it worked for me.
I see.
That's it. Because I'm the specimen. If you hear from the specimen, who else do you want to tell you?
Of course, I would not question anymore. Like me, I'm not giving you any other questions on this. I'm just getting this. Tukwebaza nnyo okubanga ovuddeyo noyogera ku kintu kino boldly and freely. We acknowledge the spirit of the military that is in you. But of course, as a citizen of Uganda, tukwebaza nnyo okuguidinga society. Do you recommend Rashid Lukwago to people. Can you just openly recommend someone, or you tell people you try and see? I
have recommended the people, like we have talked, and they have gone out of it. So it's an open ticket because I've been there and I'm okay. Whether I've had other medication, even if I have to recommend the other, I will tell you add this. Ferrizo. Through all the package that I went through, I identified him and the other from Mr. Chizito.
I see.
So when I tell you one-sided, I'm being your enemy.
Of course, you're not giving me.
I'm not being open to you. If these guys are doing it here, that's why I've said we have the internal supply chain.
I sincerely should appreciate you and call upon the stakeholders, mainly those that are supposed to take care of national guidance, specifically those from the Ministry of Health, to give chance to our local internal mechanism, our only inside, because we are a landlocked country. We always have to wait for a lot of bureaucracy. You guys who are doing logistics,
and
you know what it takes.
We can go to Congo and have more of the same trees.
Yes. Inside, we can walk to a given tree and come up with a herb. But my urge, my call, I call upon those who are policymakers, at least to give chance to our own people. Yes. You give them the audience, not to wait. Like, I understand. I appreciate the president realized this later, and then he said he gave up on the usual talk of his scientists, and then he said we are about to hit this COVID with a better vaccine on the market. But now, through your recommendation, I urge people to trust the environment. Kakati sebo, nkweyanziza nnyo, webale nnyo kupa kaseera kano. N'abali eyo bwenna ku lw'abannange ffenna ku TM Online Television, basiibudde mweraba.